all these different ways of expressing a fraction, it's kind of handy to know how to convert one form to the other. And that is what this video clip is all about. Let me assure you that everything will be done step by step. Let's get started. Improper fraction to a mixed number. Divide the numerator by the denominator. Use the remainder as the numerator of the fractional part of the mixed number. The denominator stays the same. Reduce the fraction to lowest terms if possible. For this example, let's actually convert 17/3 into mixed number. So the first step is to do division. So I'm going to go 3 divides into 17 how many times? Well, 5 times 3 is 15. My remainder is 2. Now from this information, I can get my mixed number. The quotient is your whole number. And the remainder is the numerator of the fractional part of the mixed number. And what goes down here? Well, the 3. It's the same denominator. Whatever's here appears here. So this is my answer. 5 and 2/3. For example 15, I want to convert 26/4 into a mixed number. So let's do our long division again. I have 4 into 26. Well, 4 times 6 is 24, and my remainder is 2. So my mixed number is going to be the 6, and the remainder is always the numerator. So you can go 2, and there's my denominator, 4. But wait, see, this isn't reduced to lowest terms. So this is really 6, and see, 2/4 is 1/2. So 6 and 1/2 is the answer. By the way, I could have reduced my fraction first, because I notice everything is even, so this is really just 13/2. And now change that into a mixed number. So you're going to have 2 on the outside, 13 on the inside. 2 times 6 is 12. My remainder is 1. Now make this a mixed number. So this would be 6. My remainder is the numerator, and there's going to be my denominator. Same thing. Unfortunately, the TI calculator does not have a convenient way of converting improper fractions to mixed numbers. But there's a workaround, and let's cover that with an example. Convert 17/3 into a mixed number. So to do this problem in calculator, the first thing you would do is just divide these numbers. A first step is to press clear, 17, divided by 3, and enter. And we get 5.666. This is what we do next. Just write down the 5. So here's the 5. And now we want to remove that. We want to subtract it from the answer we just got. On the calculator, you're going to go, now we're going to subtract 5 minus 5. Enter again. Now change that remaining decimal into a fraction. Yeah? Enter. Enter again. So now let's just write down 2/3 next to the 5. 2/3. And that is our mixed number. Mixed number to improper fraction. Multiply the whole part by the denominator. Add this product to the numerator of the fractional part. The denominator stays the same. If applicable, reduce the fraction to lowest terms if possible. For example 16, I'd like to convert 3 and 4/5 into an improper fraction. So the first step is I'm going to multiply the 3 times the 5. What does that give us? 15. Now I want to add that to the top number. That's going to give me 19. Now the denominator stays the same. So I'm going to put 5. If I can reduce this, I should. Well, 19/5 doesn't get any smaller. So we're done. Now this little notation of putting little arrows here and here, you're going to see me do that quite a bit from now on in this lesson. Convert 3 and 4/5 into an improper fraction. So to input the mixed number into our calculator, what you need to do is actually add the whole part to the fractional part. So it would look something like this. Once you have that, then use your convert to fraction capabilities. Let's go ahead and try this. Our first step is, of course, to clear our display. And now let's input our mixed number. 3 plus 4 divided by 5. And enter. Okay. Now let's just press the math key and then enter again. There it is, 19/5. Common fraction to decimal form. Simply divide the numerator by the denominator. If the division results in a decimal form that has a remainder of 0, we say the number is a terminating decimal. It stops, terminates, after a definite number of digits. For this example, I want to convert each of these fractions into their decimal forms. So for the first one, just use long division, and you're going to get something like 0.5. Which is a terminating decimal. Long division with this guy over here, I'm going to get 9.75. Now this one over here is a little different. So I'm actually will show the long division. So I'm going to put the 9 on the outside, and there's my 2. Well, 9 doesn't go into 2, so I'm going to say 0. Put a decimal point, tack on a 0. 9 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 9 is 18, and I get a remainder of 2. Now let's add on another 0, which means 9 into 20 is 2, and I'm going to get 18. Deja vu, we keep getting this 20 minus 18, 20 minus 18. This is going to be a 20 minus 18 forever. So we're going to get 2 and 2 and 2. This is not a terminating decimal. When you're doing a division and your remainder is never 0 and you get a repeating set of digits, not necessarily the exact same digit, it could be 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, but it's a repeating pattern of the exact same digits over and over again forever, then this is called a repeating or periodic decimal. Now there is another way of abbreviating, since I can't write this forever, and it would be something like this. 0.2, and you put a bar that matches the number of digits that repeat themselves. So I only have one repeating digit, so it's just one little bar over the 2. And this is how you can represent a repeating decimal. If you want to convert a fraction to decimal form on your calculator, all you really need to do is type in your fraction in your calculator using the division key, seen here, and then press enter. The answer is automatically a decimal. Unless it's a whole number, then it'll just be a whole number. Convert 2/3 into its decimal form. Our first step is to clear the display. Now let's input our fraction. 2 divide by 3 and enter. And there's our decimal form. So for the final answer, notice the 6 repeats itself. So it's going to be 0.6, and just put a bar over the 6. I need to warn you about something. Notice the calculator display has a 7 at the very end of the display. Well, it really isn't a 7. The calculator actually rounds the figure. So just be aware it's supposed to be a 6. Terminating decimal to fraction. Write the decimal as the numerator of the fraction. Write a 1 in the denominator followed by a series of zeros to its right. The number of zeros is equal to the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. Remove the decimal point and any zeros on its left, leaving zeros. Reduce the fraction to lowest terms if possible. I'd like to convert 0.6 to a fraction. So to do that, first thing is I want to make this the numerator. I'm going to put a 1 down here. Now the number of zeros is equal to the number of digits past the decimal point. So I have one place, so I just put 1 0. The next thing I'm going to do is remove the decimal point and the 0. So this is just going to be 6/10. And I can reduce this, I can cut everything in half, so my final answer is 3/5. For example 19, I like to convert 2.05 to a fraction. So we put it as a numerator first, write down a 1. The number of zeros matches the number of places past the decimal point. So I have 2 spots, so I put 2 zeros. So this is the same thing as, and now we remove the decimal point and write down what's left over. So you have this. Now, I can reduce this. I notice everything is divisible by 5, so doing it by hand or using a calculator, 205 divided by 5, you're going to get 41. 100 divided by 5 is going to be 20. And that's as far as you can go. Now, this is an answer, but some people may prefer to write down a mixed number. Well, 20 goes into 41 2 times, and you'd have 1 left over. So that's going to be the fractional part. So either one of these is the correct answer. Change 2.05 to a common fraction. Our first step is to clear the display. Now let's just put in our decimal number, 2.05. Now let's just make this a fraction. Math, enter, enter again. So there's our common fraction, 41/20. Unfortunately, the process of converting a repeating decimal to a fraction is rather complicated, and it will not be covered in this lesson. It will be done in the algebra lesson, solving linear equations. I do have some good news for you though. Converting a repeating decimal to a fraction is easy to do on the calculator. But what you need to make sure is that when you input the decimal, you do a very long string of characters. Okay, so if it's something like 0.33, don't just put 0.33 a couple of places. Make sure the whole line on the calculator display is lined up with 3s. If you do that, it'll convert correctly. Let's do an example. Convert the following repeating decimal into a fraction. Let's clear our display. And now let's just input our decimal. 0, point, and then a whole bunch of 3s. Make sure you fill up the whole line. And now you want to make that a fraction. There it is, 1/3. Convert the following repeating decimal into a fraction. Now let's do just the very same thing for this problem. We're clear, type in our 0.21, and then just repeat ourselves. And then of course, make it a fraction when we're done. And there's our final answer, 7/33. Convert the following repeating decimal into a fraction. So once again, we're going to just clear our display and just input our decimal. Now we have to just do it twice since it's a pretty long series of digits. Let's give this a try. Hey, it's only 1/7. Decimal to percentage. Multiply the decimal by 100. Add the percent symbol to the right of the result. For this example, I'd like to convert 0.153 to a percentage. All you got to do is multiply by 100, and that's going to give you 15.3. And then the last step is just tack on the percent sign. There it is. Now here's a hot tip. Instead of multiplying by 100 like this, just scoot the decimal point over 2 places to the right, and you automatically get the 15.3, and then just tack on the percent sign. For example 21, I like to convert this number to a percentage. Let's use our hot tip. So I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Now we don't need all these extra zeros, so I'm going to rewrite this as 0.07, and then last step, tack on the percent sign or percent symbol. There's our answer. The TI-84 doesn't have a special percent operation, but it's not a big deal because all you really need to do is just multiply by 100 and then just write out the percent sign. Let's try this with an example. Convert 1.3 to a percent. Our first step is to clear the screen. Now let's just put in our number, 1.3. Now to convert this to a percent, just times it by 100. So let's do that. There's our 100, and of course, enter. So for our final answer, all you really need to do is just tack on the percent symbol or percent sign, and you're done. Common fraction to percentage. Convert the fraction to a decimal. Convert the decimal to a percentage. For example 22, I like to convert 1/3 to a percentage. So the first step is to make it a decimal. To do that, you do what? Divide. We're going to use long division, and you're going to get an answer of 0.333333. This thing's going to go on forever, much like this video clip. Oh, just kidding. Once you have this, then what? Well, let's just scoot over 2 decimal places to get 33.3. Let's put a little bar over that because that's the digit that repeats itself, and then we'll make that a percentage. And there is our answer. Percentage to decimal. Remove the percent symbol. Divide the number by 100, or just shift the decimal point 2 places to the left. Let's change 1.8% to a decimal. First step is let's just remove the percent symbol, so let's just erase that thing right there. Next step, scoot the decimal place over 2 places to the left. So I'm going to go 1 spot, 2 spots. And see this little cup here is like a placeholder for a 0. I want my dot right there. Well, that's pretty messy looking, so I'm going to rewrite this. It's going to be 0.018. And there is my final answer. Change 5% to a decimal. Let's clear our display. Put in our percentage, 5. Now, to make this a decimal, just divide by 100. Divided by 100. And of course, enter. And there's our answer. Percentage to common fraction. Remove the percent symbol. Place the number in the numerator and place a 100 in the denominator. If there is a decimal point in the numerator, multiply both parts of the fraction by the power of 10 needed to remove the decimal point. Reduce the fraction to lowest terms if possible. Let's change 16% to a common fraction. First step, let's just get rid of this percent symbol. It's history. Then, anything we have left over, divide it by 100. So, over 100. We don't have any decimals in the numerator, so let's proceed to the last step of just reducing this. Well, I can cut everything in half, so it's going to be 8/50ths, and we can cut this in half again. So I'm going to get 4/25ths. And that's going to be my final answer. For example 25, I like to convert 2.8% to a fraction. Well, what do we do? Well, first get rid of this percent sign. Don't need it. Let's divide by 100. Now, since there is a decimal point here, we're going to have to multiply the top and bottom by something. Well, what? Well, this is only one decimal place we have to scoot over, so we're going to write down a 10 because it's only 1 0. The number of zeros match the number of places we have to scoot over. That's good to know. And what did we get for an answer? Well, we're going to get 28, and on the bottom we're going to get 1,000. Is that a final answer? Well, no. I can reduce that. So cut everything in half, and you're going to get 14 over 500, and we can cut in half again to get 7 over 250. That's it. Rewrite 2.8% as a simple fraction. Let's clear our display. Now let's input our percentage, 2.8. Now the first thing we should do is divide by 100. Let's do that. Okay, so now we need to change our decimal to a fraction. So math, enter, and enter again. So there is our final answer, 7 over 250. Converting complex fractions to simple fractions will be done in another video clip, so we're going to skip that for now. Converting ratios. Rewrite the ratio as a fraction. A to B converts to A divided by B. Use the step-by-step procedures mentioned previously to convert to a decimal or a percentage. We won't do any specific examples of this because all this was already covered previously. Video exercise 24 wants us to convert 27/5 into a mixed number. Give it a try. Well, we're going to have to use long division. So we're going to have 5 on the outside. There's my 27. 5 goes into 27 5 times. 5 times 25 is 25. Subtract, I get a remainder of 2. So this gives me all the information I need to get the answer. The answer is going to be 5. And the remainder is the numerator of the fractional part of the mixed number. So you get 2 and 5. The denominator stays as the same denominator. 5. So there's my answer. Now I'd like you to convert this mixed number to an improper fraction. Well, the procedure is that you multiply 2 times 7 and then add that result to 3. That'll give us the numerator. So 2 times 7 is 14 plus 3, 17. The denominator stays the same. So there is our improper fraction. For exercise 26, I'd like you to convert each of these fractions into its decimal form. Well, all you have to do is log division. With the first one, you're going to get an answer of 0.375. The next one, using long division, you can get something that looks like this, 0.4545455 forever. Well, the 4 and the 5 repeat themselves, so a way to abbreviate this is going to be 0.45 and then put a bar over the 4 and the 5. And these are my answers. Exercise 27 wants us to convert each of these decimals to fractions. Give it a try. Well, let's go through the procedures. First, I want to put this all over 1, and then the zeros down here matches the decimal places on top. So there's one spot, so just 1 0. So this is really 2/10, which can be reduced to 1/5. Let's try the next one. I want to put this over 1, and then 2 places, 2 zeros. So this is going to be 312 over 100. Now you can reduce this, and the final answer is going to be 78 over 25. Now over here, do the same thing. Divide that by 1, and then I have 3 places, so I tack on 3 zeros. So this is equal to 6 over 1,000. Now you can cut everything in half, so we're going to get an answer of 3 over 500. For exercise 28, I'd like you to convert 3/4 to a percentage. Well, the first step is to make it a decimal. To do that, just use long division, and you'd get an answer of 0.75. Now you want to convert this to percentage. Well, just scoot the decimal point over 2 places to the right, and you're going to get 75, and the final step is to just write down the percent symbol. For exercise 29, I'd like you to convert this number to a percentage. Well, very easy. Just scoot over the decimal point 2 places to the right. So that's easy. Just go 1 and then 2 right there. Let's clean this up. So you're going to get 22.8, and we want a percentage, so let's put on at the end the percent sign. For exercise 30, I'd like you to convert this percentage to a decimal. Go for it. Well, the first step is to get rid of percent symbol right there. Now you can think of 100 having a decimal point right there. And you then need to scoot it over 2 places to the left. Well, let's just move it over there. Now let's clean this up. For the final answer, you really don't need those zeros, or a decimal point for that matter. So our final answer is just 1. For number 31, it's pretty much the same thing as the previous problem. Convert this percentage to a decimal. Well, our first step again is to get rid of the percent symbol. It's gone. And then we need to move the decimal point over. So we go over here, right? Oh. Gotta be careful. So that's not right. A lot of people see that point, oh, it's automatically moving it to the right. In this case, we got to go left. So you're going to go 1 spot, 2 spots. And then you're going to put a 0. See, there's like almost like a little cup holder here. You're going to put a 0 right there, and you move your decimal point right there. And let's clean this up for our final answer. So it's going to be 0.00205. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty, but that is the answer. Now I'd like you to change 14% to a fraction. Give it a shot. First step, he's gone. He's out of there. And to make it a fraction, percentages, you're just dividing by 100. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Divide by 100, and let's reduce this. So to reduce it, it looks like that. See, I've reduced. No, I'm just kidding here. No. So it's going to really be 7/50. That's it. For our last exercise of this video clip, I'd like you to convert this percentage into a common fraction. Well, first thing we need to do is get rid of the percent sign. So he's gone. Then we make this the numerator of a fraction that, by definition, we put it over 100 because we had percentage. Percentage means divide by 100. But since we have decimals on top, we have to multiply top and bottom by a power of 10. Well, which one? Well, we need to go 1, 2, 3 places this way, okay? So we're going to have to multiply by 1 and then followed by 3 zeros. And what you do at the top, you got to do on the bottom. So when you do that, this will scoot the decimal point over. So I just get, well, 1. Because it's just 1 right there. And just put all our zeros together down here. So it's going to be 1/100,000th.